Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 26th episode of Dungeons and Dragons Adventurers League.
Oh shit!
That's right.
Wait,
it's episode
we forgot to do
26.
something.
No,
Hey,
no.
hey, Blue
no,
Jay.
No,
Hey, Blue Jay.
no.
Hey, Blue Jay, look at this. Look at
I saw that we weren't doing that, and I was just
I know
like,
everyone was
holding
being
it.
such a professional this time.
Holding it.
Yeah, we were.
God
sorry.
damn it.
I was temporarily so proud of you, and then
And then
like
Dave.
hit points
I mean, it's all
gained from
Dave's fault.
killing a creature with Eldritch Blast. That temporary feeling just went away.
Yeah.
Speaking of Eldritch Blast, somebody in the party has not yet logged into Roll20 and should probably.
I'm doing it right now. I'm really bad at that part because I have to use a different browser because it still doesn't work on fucking Google.
Welcome back, everybody.
Grumble.
How have we been since last we Dungeons and/or Dragons?
It feels like forever.
No, it does.
I
Feel like
know, it's been an age.
It does. It feels.
How long actually was it?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2
Only
weeks.
2 weeks.
I'm good. I'm feeling good.
Did you
Mm.
Having a
did
good
you
time.
LARP? Have you LARPed?
I did do the LARP.
Tell us a tale of LARPery.
I will tell you a tale of LARPery. So, this game was in Saskatoon, which is like 3-4 hours away from me. I go there once a month to play this game, and I usually play this very gentle, nice, friendly character there. But
Just
it
to
was
be,
like
just to be clear for folks in the audience, Saskatoon is a real place. Elf did not just
Yeah.
make that up.
yeah, no, it's real.
It's the Paris of the prairies.
Yeah, lives in it's in Saskatchewan.
Is that
But,
seriously what they call it?
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
really,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Really.
But
Wow,
re-
Saskatoon.
anyway, I
Welcome
usually
to
play this.
Saskatoon talk.
I
Sorry.
used to
We were
play.
listening to the elf story.
God fucking damn it.
It's Saskatoon though.
Yeah, I usually play this nice gentle character there, but I decided I was gonna play my the character I play in the Edmonton game, who's like a vicious, like horrible murderer, basically. For this like masquerade party, this was my mask for the masquerade party right here.
Creepy.
This skull. It was fantastic. I got to intimidate people who I don't usually get to intimidate with a character they've never seen before. They all think I'm nice and gentle and nice, and then I come out playing this like I will stab you for fun murderer.
I will
I wanna
stab you
see
for
that.
fun. Did you stab anybody for fun?
I did actually.
That's good.
And basically like it was a party like hosted by the Winter Court Fae. So they're all like cruel and mean and awful and just generally like the worst people ever.
Mhm.
There's this bardic competition where like people would get up and like sing or tell a story or whatever, and it was being judged by the Winter Court Lord. And I was like, that's not entertainment for the Winter Court. Fuck this. Okay, so I get up, go to the front, and I go, I need a volunteer. And so somebody steps forward, and I'm like, I'm gonna count to 10. I take my knife out. 1, 2, 3. Basically
Performance
like
art.
that. And he was very happy. The Winter Court Lord was very. I won, by the way, that competition.
I would, yeah, I'd vote for you.
So it's pretty great. It's pretty
I would be afraid if I didn't vote for you that you would stab me.
great. Well,
Do
you
you
know.
think? Do you think? Did White Wolf ever put out a Saskatoon by Night source book? I wonder.
I don't know. Did
I bet
they?
they did. I bet you
That would be kind of
there's a
amazing.
fan one. There's some pretty bad whatever by nights, and they were like not what you'd expect, right? Like there was like Chicago, and there was like a L.A. and a New York one, I think. But I'm pretty sure they did like a Boise by night or something too. God,
Boise by night.
wow.
Well, you'd want a smaller town one for the folks who are.
But I mean, just by the way, when I say knife, I'm talking about like one of these. You know, it's not real. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
stab
imagine
anyone.
literally stabbing someone.
I promise, I didn't really stab anyone.
LARPing isn't real. LARPing isn't. It's
No.
just pretend. It's just make believe. Well, that's cool. I'm glad that you won the stabbing someone to death contest.
I got everything I could have wanted from that trip. Filled out my witchcraft spell book. Basically, just a great time.
Just really living the dream. That's awesome. I'm excited about that. Is it still like? Do you guys do most of your LARPing outside, or is this a?
Well, this one was like in a hall, like you know, community centers and shit.
Yeah, the kinds of places where teenagers have punk rock shows.
Yeah, we just rent one of those places.
I just
and-
imagine y'all doing your LARP thing, and then off in the corner, there's like a bunch of like veterans playing bingo or something.
It's always a private venue. Like whether it's outside or not, like it's always without the public. You know.
So as to prevent the aforementioned vampire problem of the mid-90s of chasing each other around in a park with index cards with gun written on them.
Yeah, and just generally like people don't want to be like observed like weird creatures while playing a game where they want to be immersed, right?
It's really true.
Like-
it's really weird having people watch you play a game where you're pretending to be someone else. That's very strange.
And they all stared into their webcam.
Who would do that?
Don't you know I'm actually a kobold warlock in real life?
It's true. It's only
I believe it.
it's only possible because it's real.
You're ruining my immersion.
You really believe I'm a kobold warlock, Blue Jay?
Ow. If you're a warlock, you could make yourself look like it's something else, probably,
That's
right?
true.
So,
Is alter self on the warlock spell list?
It is actually.
So,
I mean-
disguise self is on at will if you're
Proven, done.
you know.
actual couple.
Actual cold.
And we've only seen you from the one angle, so it would be
I mean,
really-
I have seen.
That's not true. Adam and Blue Jay have both seen me in real life. Okay,
So they claim. It was just a fantasy.
I'm not a kobold.
Was I charmed? Did you charm me?
Yeah. it's fake.
No, it was at a LARP. Come on. So it couldn't have been the real elf.
I was LARPing as a human streamer.
Yep.
Yeah. True. Fair. I gave someone that advice once. I posted a picture on Instagram or something, and someone was like, I've always wanted to just like dye my hair and dress however I wanted. How do you do it? And I'm like, just pretend that you're LARPing a character that is a cooler version of you.
Yeah, it's a really easy way to justify that. Honestly.
See,
like
my
pretends to be cooler than
instigator
you
to
are.
the dyeing of my hair was that I didn't have an outside job telling me I couldn't. I mean, that's a big deal. Like some workplaces are
Yeah,
like, don't
exactly.
do weird shit with your body, and you're like, don't tell me what to do. But they could fire you. so,
Don't do weird shit.
It's true.
yeah.
I do like that idea as a philosophy, though. Like, just imagine the kind of character you would make if you're playing a LARP that was exactly like your life, but you could be anybody you wanted to be, and then be that person.
And I'd be so much more successful were I pretending to be me than just actually being me. I promise.
I mean, really, is there such a thing as a person anyway? Can you really own a computer?
How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real?
Oh god.
Well, I mean, I haven't been stabbing anybody. What's everybody else been up to? Anybody got anything interesting going on?
I don't know, stabbing people.
Right, of course. This is the thing that we do a lot. Canadians have a quota, and it's almost tax season, so
I mean, yeah.
we got to get our knifing in.
I mean,
Yeah,
doing
it's like the purge. Everybody's really nice all the time in Canada, and that's why the stereotype is there. And they just don't tell you in the promotional videos that's because they have like yearly stabbing quota.
February 29th in Canada, stabbing day.
I mean, side note, it's not all I do. You know, like
There you go. Put that on your bio. Stabbing isn't all I do.
I will. I'm gonna change my Twitter description right now to stabbing people isn't all I do.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad that it isn't. That's nice. Well,
I went outside.
what? Bullshit.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't
I
even know you
did.
anymore.
That's pretty much it. I went outside.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
you can take your nerd license and you can put it in the mail and send it back to Nerd HQ because it's
There
being
are
revoked.
no nerd licenses.
True.
Okay, but the nerd tattoo you have to have removed.
Yes, definitely.
No.
It's like Sons of Anarchy. You have to have it blacked out. Sorry. That's how it goes. Yeah. Once you go outside, nobody goes out there. You could randomly encounter stuff like bears or other humans.
There were other humans. I had a very long
Nice.
conversation with a woman in a stationery store. It was pretty great.
Is there random like battle music? Because I'd be down if that like I randomly encountered 3 tourists.
I mean, it wasn't battle music, but yeah.
No, I think real life is one of those more modern Chrono Trigger type RPGs where you can see the encounters coming and try to flee from them.
Unless you're like in the forest and then like things on rolly balls like jump out of trees or something. I don't know.
Yep, random
Chrono
encounters with
Trigger's
other
weird.
humans. If I would get on that Moogle charm and I would just equip it forever,
Yeah,
that'd be
sure.
it. That'd be it. Well, I'm glad that we've shared stories of going outside and stabbing people for pretend, but we could play Dungeons and Dragons. That could be a thing.
Let's
We could-
pretend to stab people for pretend. No, wait.
Yeah, let's do that. So, we're partway through. This is part 2 of Tyranny and Flan, and this adventure path this season really likes to kick off 5th level with a bang. There's a dragon, and Flan is getting its ass beat. So last we saw you, you had just killed an Etten and a bunch of hobgoblins, and tried to kill a priest, but she got away. Farflick.
If only we had a ranger.
Someone capable of tracking them.
Yeah, if we could track this person.
But the town is under siege by the forces of the Cult of the Dragon, and I suppose we left off with all y'all in the new Laughing Goblin, which is still as yet not on fire. So
No, just the best NPC's dead.
Markoth was recently killed. You were with Aya Glenmere, the enchantress, who is sadly without her familiar. A dwarven mercenary named Euripany Thundershield, and the knight Alade Burrell, who's given you some missions in the past. And the city is in chaos, right? This would be the fade in on the establishing shot of, like, smoke coming up from the various boroughs of Flan. The keep crumbled and in ruins. A dense green fog kind of spread out over some of the city, and a general sense of chaos. The montage of looting and rioting, of people fleeing in panic, people hiding in their homes. And in the streets, the forces of the Cult of the Dragon kind of running rampant, doing as they please. The time has come for them to seize Flan. Now, when last we spoke, there was some discussion about what was to be done about this. You have some kind of options, right? Like, you could try to basically getting out of Flan, I think was the plan. Yeah, you don't want to hang out here.
No, I need to. I think I might be the only character with like family ties here, so I need to get to the Noble District first. I'm not prepared to leave until I check that they're safe.
Technically, I probably have family ties too. Whether I care is different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Or whether they'd recognize me at all.
Mhm.
So,
Well, your old, your old family is in town, and your new family is all over town. So yeah, I mean, you have probably the easiest time, traveling. Not necessarily alone, but like not having to worry about the Cult of the Dragon picking you out as a problem.
See, I have to worry about the Black Fist stabbing me, which
Yes.
is like a separate problem entirely.
Yeah, a separate and different problem. I think that there was some suggestion. That you could go and Alade Burrell wants to save the regent. She wants to go to the keep and help restore order if it's at all possible, because supposedly the Lord Regent may still be alive despite Vorgansharax and his attack on the castle. So she, I think, wants to go to the Stojno Gate and scope that situation out. I suggest that you find someone to smuggle you out of town as an option. That maybe someone in the Welcomers could help you out there. And then there's whatever other options that you would like. But basically, the city is in a state of chaos, and it's not really safe to be out wandering the streets. So when we fade back in on the group of you in the tavern. What's the conversation sound like? What's going on?
We can't possibly take on a dragon. Why are you insisting that we go back into the city? It's death and suicide, and I'm not doing that.
We're still in here.
We'll go
We
far.
haven't left it yet.
Go further into the
Oh.
city, perhaps.
Potential idea. I may know a few people in less than reputable places that could take us through less than reputable routes to leave this place forever. I would recommend that we do that, personally. Not that I'm particularly worried. I'm probably the least problematic of you all to remain here.
I, for one, welcome our new draconic overlords.
I, for one, dragons.
I don't really see how this town is going to be saved by 4 of us against, I don't know, an entire dragon cult.
I think that Knight Burrell looks at you and scowls, and she says, "I'm not suggesting that we attack this thing head on, but we at least owe it to the region to go and investigate."
I don't know the regent anything.
No. The regent can have been killed in the dragon attack, I think, for all we care. But we do owe it to the city, or at least I do, to do my best to try and help people here. Now, if nobody wants to come with me to help my family, I don't see that there's any way that I can go and do anything by myself. But heading to the most... Well,
We could slip through.
I think we could. I think it's possible. It's just whether we head there, we head to the gate. I understand that you want to leave. I understand that your lives are valuable, but so are the lives of everybody else who can't even make the effort to defend themselves. And if we leave them all to die, I don't know if I could live with myself. I have seen far too much death in my life to simply stand by and save myself while there are others that I could try and be helping.
There is some black-robed kobold grumbling about how her life is 100% worth more than all the people she doesn't care about, but she goes, "Fine. Fine. I can see that you're very insistent, and I think that it would be better for me if I stayed with the person with the big sword. So, fine."
I can't very well tell you not to try and save your family. I will help as much as I can, but then we leave.
All right. Then we put our head slightly deeper into the city, closer to the keep. Anyway, do we want to try and head to the keep first and then scope out the situation in the noble district from there, or the other way around? No, Captain, what do you suggest? I know you have your allegiances, though. We've called them into question before.
She says, whatever corruption has befallen the Black Fist, the position of the Lord Regent, it matters more than the man himself. And if the city knows that the Lord Regent is safe, then we can start restoring some sense of law and order. But as long as he's missing or his fate is unknown, chaos will reign. And you can see that she really, like, she believes what she's saying. And she's one of those people that didn't believe that the Lord Regent, like, she thinks the accident was an accident. And she's not alone in that, but yeah, you can see that she's serious about that.
That makes sense to me.
I think talking about restoring law and order to Flan is something that we should perhaps do after there's not a dragon attacking it. But
Well, it's flown away, right? Like,
Yeah.
the biggest threat is removed.
It's
Oh,
not,
he was
yeah, it's
moving.
not like sitting on the castle or anything.
Oh,
It
okay.
knocked it
Okay.
over and barfed some poison and then decided to
skedaddle.
skedaddle for a bit. Yeah. Also, Dave, if you don't have inspiration already, feel free to take it.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah, the dragon, wanted to see the other districts, so it's over in the merchants' quarter shopping for some new.
Yeah,
Just eating gold.
exactly. So, taking the penny tour of Flan.
All right, then it sounds like we're decided. We'll check this first, then attempt to leave. The question is, how do we get there? I don't-
Burrell?
Well, she says there's only one entrance to the keep, right? The Stojino Gate, and the prison within. The direct approach is the only approach that she knows of.
I was going to say, only one way in that you know about. I'm sure there are others.
She says, be that as it may, if there are other ways into Valjevo Keep, they're almost certainly going to be patrolled by the Cult of the Dragon. How do you think they got in?
Fair enough. But I'm sure I can take a look.
She nods and she stands kind of impatiently, and she says, I can't sit idly by while the city is in chaos. I have some friends I can call on for help. I'm going to do that. I'll meet you by the Stojino Gate. When? How long do you need?
Well, I believe we've rested.
Yeah. I mean, this is during the rest. Like, this is happening.
Few hours, maybe, to see if I can get in contact with anyone I know.
I have people as well.
All right. So she says 2 hours then. And she gives you a street, like a corner intersection that's nearish to the Stojino Gate. And then she leaves.
Okay. Right then, gosh, I don't know how we get in contact with our, like, presumably we're both going to be going for our little factions, seeing if they've got some stuff for us. Clearly in favors.
That
Because
was
I think
the
I
plan.
made a couple.
Okay. So yeah, where do you start? What do you want to do?
Dave, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't think any of us know what the rest of our allegiances are in terms of factions.
Sure.
So I don't know whether you need to split off from us and we need to do this separately. I'm happy.
When it comes to splitting off from you, I have the easiest time doing that just in general right now because of the whole
Right.
dragon cult thing. So that's not really too big of a deal. I would say. I don't know.
Okay.
I think as a spy, I totally know that you two are Harpers, but I don't know if I would know that Elphys is in Tarum.
Yeah. Probably not.
Perhaps. I was like, all right, well, this seems like about as dire a situation as going to be, and I don't see any more need for secrecy. And I just I reach into my own coat and I put the pin down on the table. I'm like, I'm owed a few favors. I'll go and see if we can find them.
Okay.
And you'll recognize it as the Harper pin.
Well, shall we be going then?
Yes. We'll try and find people. And you wanted to talk to others? And I look over towards Anastasia. Are you coming with us?
Yes, I have my own avenues, I think, that will prove at least different in their rewards. You know.
Fine.
You have your contacts, I have mine, so forth.
I'm curious about Anastasia's contacts. Would I be able to be like, oh yeah, we'll totally pair off and I'll go with you? Or would you be like, no, no.
I look over if you make that suggestion sort of in character.
Yeah, it's dangerous to go alone. Let me come with you.
I look over at you and say,
if you're with me, I have to explain to every idiot that I pass by why there's drow with the kobold, whereas if I'm just a kobold, then I can
get murdered by the Black Fist. Yes, that would
Look,
be.
I can turn invisible. I can't turn me and you invisible.
Well, you should fix that, but whatever.
Well, I
If
could.
one were to go with her, it would be me. I can disguise myself as a member of the cult.
All right, I'd feel better if everybody had someone with them.
Are you saying you are coming?
And I'm I'm gonna roll my disguise kit to
Okay.
look like a cult member. And I'm casting guidance.
Mm-hmm. So you bust out the singer and start making yourself a costume. All right, you have
a 14. I don't know. It's a costume. It's pretty convincing.
You have a DC 14 equivalent Cult of the Dragon costume. Okay.
All right. Then we'll both go our separate ways.
I pull some equipment and stuff from some of these people we parted.
14's pretty good.
Here, take these chromatic robes.
I mean, yeah, you're doing okay. It's not like you're trying to sneak into the Vatican dressed as like a Russian Orthodox priest or something.
Yeah, it's just enough to get us through casual observation in the streets.
Yeah, that'll be what I'll roll against if somebody gives you a full looking over. Okay. So the two of you are gonna head out and do that, and while that's going on, we'll come back to you in a second. Lane and Oleander, where are you headed?
I guess find some Harpers, right?
Yeah, we need to find Harper contacts, and we've done this a lot of times now. Well, yeah, we're both on quite high renown, presumably. So I don't know, what's a sort of surreptitious way, because they are kind of spies, they are sneaky, they're about having an information network, though it would presumably be much more difficult than usual to get word out, just because the normal channels of like people on street corners are now like, I don't know, either dead or hiding.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of a secretive organization, so it makes sense that you would have. I guess the question is time, right? Like, because you can always leave a message at a dead drop or whatever. But if you want to be more kind of aggressive about it, you do have to take that risk and like go to places that you think other Harpers might be, and kind of like insinuate that you're looking for them. There would be like code phrases and stuff that you could use.
Yeah, there's probably at least one safe house that you are like not supposed to use unless it's a massive emergency, so I probably head there. And you're not allowed in unless you have the password or you have like a special key that you're given once you've proved your loyalty or whatever.
Sure.
So
and
we'll try that.
The two of you, how are you trying to avoid trouble getting from one place to another? Because you can't just like walk outside and like go from house to house. It's not like taking a stroll.
I could just be like on the rooftops, like looking out, like on the street, and Dave's just heavily armored and don't mess with me guy, and I'm his backup.
Yeah, heavily armored, don't mess with me guy, or stab me in the neck and steal my armor guy. Either one.
Well, I could shoot someone before they could stab them in the neck.
Yeah, so if you want to help providing Overwatch from the roof, you certainly can. But what's your approach, Lane? What are you doing? Is it just like cloak sweeping in the wind, striding the burning streets, or?
I think we've got to try and move you. So with the benefit of being up high, you can probably take routes that I'm not able to, but I can be mounted now. So it's probably just going to be like rushing through areas, like checking in with each other, like checking the side streets, and then just like making dashes across places and trying to lose people with our better knowledge of the city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me take a quick look at the character sheet and see what would be appropriate in this situation, skill-wise. Maybe. I mean, it sort of depends, right? Like, it could be intimidation if you're just like, look at me and my giant horse, get the fuck out of my way. It could also be insight if you're trying to avoid like danger. You're like peering around corners and being aware of that.
I think the way I'm going, I'm definitely trying to be stealthy.
Yeah, I think that's a different thing, because it's not about you staying hidden on the roofs. Like that should be relatively easy. It's just about eliding the moment to moment stuff, right? Instead of being like, and then you see this guy, and then this happens, and this happens. I want to be like, so you go out into town and you start gathering information, and let's just, let's just we'll make it an investigation check, and the parameters of failure might be that you draw unwanted attention to yourself. So you're trying to be stealthy here.
Okay.
Yeah, so either of you can roll and the other can help.
I think that I have a 0 in investigation, so.
Okay, I'll lead on it then. And if you're
I would
helping,
be
we'll do
helping
it
with my
advantage.
providing of Overwatch.
Okay, cool. Fingers crossed then.
Okay.
Yep, I'm 16.
16. All right. Yeah, not bad. So I think, yeah, we get over the course of the next hour or so, we get those scenes of you riding through the streets, in some cases, driving off rioters or looters, in other cases, hiding in alleys while Oleander, we sort of pan up to see Oleander on the rooftop, giving the whistle and the wave so you can like run by before a patrol of the Black Fist rides by again. And I think that reading the signs left for you by other harpers and that sort of thing, I think that you end up directed to a place, and you don't know why necessarily. Like this isn't, when there's danger, go see this guy at this place. But all the signs lead to a tavern called the Cracked Crown in Scholars Square, which you've been to before.
Mm-hmm.
So all the signs are like Harper in danger, go here, right? Getting people out of the city seems to be some kind of emergency plan being enacted, and the meeting place for it is that tavern.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Okay. So while you're doing that, Gravaris and Anastasia, what are you two doing?
Well, I'm trying to contact someone in the Black Network, so to speak, the Zentarum sort of chain of command. And these people are pretty widespread. I feel like I would know at least someone, or at least a location or something. Or alternately, if I can't do that, I'll be looking to talk to anyone in the Welcomers.
Yeah. So the Zentarum technically is like illegal in Flan, given that they are a foreign nationals. Like their origins are that they're a foreign country's secret police, essentially. So they're not, you can't like legally be a member of the Zentarum here. So you
no, but it's one of those things that's like, there's probably some kind of insinuatory like phrase that has something to do with. I mean, they're secret evil people. Like, there's gonna be some code word.
Much the same as.
What is the color of night? Sanguine, my brother. Shit.
Yeah. Well, much the same as the Harpers, but just their edgelordier reflection.
They're much edgelordier. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I think it'd be much the same jam. We'll have an investigation check,
sure,
from one of you, with help from the other. Do you want to, Guerrero, so you can cast guidance?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Are you helping me, Guerrero, or are you not?
Sure, I'll help.
Okay.
I think I have all the relevant skills to help.
I think so too. Okay, and then roll a d4. Hells yeah, 24.
24.
Wow.
Yeah, Jack Bauer shows up.
So here's what I think that you learn from hushed conversations in darkened alleys, and much the same like sigils scrawled on on brick corners. The Zentarum currently, there's a sort of protocol of like wait and see. Kind of like in a period of chaos, you don't act during the chaos. You let the city kind of devour itself a little bit and then step in. And it seems like for the most part, the message has been sent to the higher ups outside the city that like, things are going on, bad shit's happening. The Lord Regent might need replacing. Maybe we need to get on this. And there's a kind of wait and see order that's been passed down. Flan, you are you're on your own for now until further orders come from on high, and that implies both like if you have a network of your own, go to it. If not, to each their own. But also like do as you will. Like there's no order. Like don't leave or any of that.
Okay, so there's no help, but there's nothing that says I have to do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. It's seen by some as a wait and see order, but also by others as a like, get your hand in the purse as fast as you can now.
I was going to say a loot and pillage order.
Exactly. So depending on your own personal preferences, there are some the more politically minded Zents are going to be thinking about what they can do to seize
and
power.
who they should be jamming the knife in the back of.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, he died in the looting.
Yeah, exactly.
But then the more sort of thuggish ones seem to be operating on a loot and pillage. However, you I think determined that all the Zentarum agents that were embedded in the Welcomers have been like withdrawn or have like gone AWOL. There's either been a purge or something, but the Welcomers and the Zentarum seem to have stopped operating together. Something happened there. Yeah.
Can I get in contact with any of the Welcomers?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're around. But I don't think you have the same contacts with them, right? Like,
No, but like, I just need somebody to speak to, you know? Like, find someone without an ear and try and insinuate myself a little bit.
Yeah, that part's going to be a little bit more difficult because the two of you appear to be invaders of the city. And so the Welcomers, they're not, they don't want Flan to get burned down by a dragon. They want it to be the way it was so they can keep doing business.
Yeah, I guess that's a little harder.
Yeah. I think that's going to be tricky.
What about members of the dragon cult?
Like just randos on the street?
Well, just like human, sort of semi not stupid looking guys, Yeah. Like somebody who might know a thing. I'm not going to talk to the kobolds necessarily, or I will if it's like those people will know how they got in here, kind of stuff.
I mean, if you want to test Graveris's disguise,
I do want to test Graveris's disguise. Let's do it.
Okay, sure. So I think that you at one point you're walking through the streets and you're around a corner and you see a short street that is seemingly the site of a battle. There's blood pooling in the cobbles on the street, splashed onto one wall, and there are men and women dressed in the uniforms of the Black Fist lying on the ground. There's about a half dozen of them just like dead in the street. Several other Black Fist guards are moving around the bodies, cutting throats. One of them points in your direction when he spots you, and he's like, "You there? Come over here." Like,
yes, of course.
And I follow towards wherever I'm being beckoned.
Okay.
And hope that Graveris either follows or does something equally useful.
Yeah, Graveris, what do you do? Do you follow along?
I'm following along, but it's in my robes, I'm like drawing a sword in a sneaky way where it's hidden still. And I'm just ready to kill a guy if they are not what I need them to be.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so there are four of these guards that are still alive that are killing their friends, and I think you walk up and you notice that the street here is just like slick with blood, so you have to sort of tread carefully. It's one of these like narrow medieval streets, so there are 3-story buildings on either side, kind of creating a canyon like feel. And and as you walk up, you can feel the eyes of a handful of like onlookers, people who are in the buildings that like watched the battle, who are looking down to see you.
It looks like things are going according to plan.
Yeah, I think that the guard that called you over sort of sneers at you and then looks at Graveris.
Of course.
And because like you're a kobold. Don't talk to me, kobold. And the guard, when you see him, you notice that he's, and this is true of all four of them, the men and women that are doing this killing. They have what looks like a like crudely drawn green like claw or hand or something painted on their breastplate over the like Black Fist.
Black Fist,
Yeah.
The green claw.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
They have like a splash mark, and it's different on all of them, right? It's not like they have a stencil.
Like by hand.
There's just kind of like exactly somebody just like smeared it on. The dead soldiers' uniforms do not.
Yeah, and so as we approach, I'm like grabbing Anastasia's head and just like shoving her behind me, just being like, this one's so chatty.
The guard looks at your robes and then looks at your face, and you can see him doing that thing that like, do I know you from somewhere? Face. And then he says, I don't think I've seen robes like that before. Where are you coming from, priest?
And I reference some like really poor quarter of the city. I say like couldn't get the proper things in time, but still doing the good work.
Yeah, he chuckles and he says, those fools, that place will burn itself out soon. This whole city's gonna be dragged into the sea. And he like looks up towards the castle and he says, and about damn time too.
Yes, I'm quite sick of it all. What? And I like turn around and like I'm about to like, you know, slap you.
Or like kick her or whatever, yeah.
How are we getting into the place?
Yes. So the matter at hand, my emissary here from the lower folk
Yes.
doesn't know how to get us back into the castle like she's supposed to. She the whole reason they sent her was to tunnel me back in. Useless.
And and he shakes his head and he says, ain't no need for a tunnel. We've got Stojano Gate under our control now. All belongs to us. Even the Lord Regent got him in a cell in there. Serves him right, bastard.
See, I told you. That's what I said.
And I just like reach behind me and just like clamp your jaw shut.
It's like a crocodile. You can't. The muscles.
Yeah, they don't
for
have the
opening
strong
are-
muscles for opening. Right? Yeah, and so Guros is just like things I put up with. Well, I'll be on my way, I suppose. I thought it was going to be much more complicated to get in there.
Yeah, he shakes his head and he says, no, if you belong in Stojano, you'll find your way in. I suppose some things never change.
Yeah, I laugh at that. I'm just like, yeah. Good joke.
Yep.
Nice. We're buddies. Cult buddies.
We're murder friends.
All right.
And I turn around and I'm just like, come on, you, and like shove Anastasia in front of me.
Hey, no need to be so.
All right.
Scuttle along.
So yeah, the two of you leave, and we see the guard that was talking to you and another of the guards, a woman. The two of them are having a kind of suspicious conversation. Like the woman says something to him, and he shakes his head, and the two of them just like watch you leave.
How many of them were there?
There were 4.
4 of them? Yeah. So we're on our way. We don't want to fuck with 4 people.
Okay. All right.
I could just hunger Fedar them.
I mean, my mind went there.
Yeah.
Just turn around and do it. I'm not going to stop you, but
No.
getting into combat with only half the group.
I very much think that's a bad idea.
And yeah, as we're walking away, Guros is just like, keep an eye on them. Like, they might try to stab us in the back. Let's go. And we like move along quickly.
Yes, I'll keep my eyes peeled for ambushes.
So while the two of you were having that conversation, did you go to the Cracked Crown lane in Oleander?
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay, so you can go check it out. Okay.
Yep.
Well, so the Scholar Square is a whirlwind of activity and chaos, but not the burning and looting. There are men and women in scholars' robes outside of all of the little bookshops and curio shops, loading up wagons full of books and scrolls. Their knowledge is very fragile in a society such as this, and they're trying to like load up all the books to get them out of Flan or get them somewhere safe, so that when the looting comes to this part of town, which inevitably will, the books won't get destroyed because, as we all know, the common folk have no use for books. They'll just burn them or throw them out.
Same though.
So, meanwhile, there are filthy-looking youths and shady individuals rushing in and out of this cracked crown, carrying scraps of paper, and they look decidedly out of place in this neighborhood. These are more like urchins and beggars than they are scholars. The cracked crown is normally a place for, you know, studious, learned folk to sit and have a drink while they discuss philosophy. But it seems to be, yeah, there's just these kind of street trash going in and out.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, if I know this is a place to be, I'm supposed to be here. I don't know. I've just been checking it during the other scene. I think I have done a secret mission for the Harpers, so I'm like a third rank in the faction. So, like, not the boss, but if I show up there, people will know me, so I don't need to do anything out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
So
being
I'm
all
gonna
edgy
stride
with
in.
my cloak up and like following Lane like a shadow.
Okay, so you just walk into the cracked crown.
Yes.
All right. So the tavern on the inside looks less like a tavern and more like a war room. A bunch of the tables have been pushed together, and a map of Flan has been spread out over them and pinned down. Documents are stacked in piles around its edges, held down by the occasional empty mug. As you enter, a burly-looking, bald Termish man steps into your path and folds his arms. He's like, "We're closed. Go away."
Yeah, so then I just do like, I guess we probably don't have a salute, we probably have a hand signal, and I'm like, oh gosh, what is it I'm called again? Oh, I'm a bright candle. I'm like, bright candle Hustings. I'm here to do what I can.
And yeah, he looks you up and down, and he looks past you, and you notice he as he turns his head to look at Oleander, he only has one ear. And he looks at Oleander and scowls like, "Your story doesn't check out. Why are you bringing a drow into this place?" And then someone comes up behind him and says, "All right, Blockjaw, calm down." And you can see past him. There's a Chondathan man. He's got black hair, slick back, dark skin. And he also is missing an ear, and you might recognize him. We saw him last in the same district, though I don't think you ever met him. Did you? Maybe Anastasia would recognize him, I think. But anyway, he kind of like pushes this guy, his friend Blockjaw, aside a little bit, and he's like, "Don't worry, Blockjaw, I know this man." And he reaches out a hand to shake yours. He says, "I don't think we've ever been introduced. I'm Gleveth. I haven't got a lot of time for chit-chat. I hope you're here to help."
And I like reach out my hand and say, Oleander. And we're here for, and I motion back to Lane like he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. Like, I don't give a fuck, his family or something.
Yeah, he shakes your hand.
Yes. I see that we also have members within the Welcomers. Who's in command here?
He laughs and he says, "Members within the Welcomers, we've been busy, my friend. We are the Welcomers. I'm technically in charge, though. I'm really hoping that Elminster will just show up and take over the whole thing, but, you know, fingers crossed. I think for the time being, though, these folk," and he gestures, and you can see all these like obvious, you know, like Thieves Guild types standing around and like making plans and drawing up requests and like operating this little war room. And he says, "We've turned the organization around quite a bit in the past few months."
Right. Yes. At least you have this area. We're looking to head to Stogino. I know it probably seems crazy.
Yeah, when you say that, he like raises an eyebrow, like, "Really?"
And I say, I'm with the same organization with you, but I've taken oaths to protect the city and the people from it. Even if it means going to my death, I'm just hoping that with all the work that I've done for you in the past, that we can help each other out in this time.
He says, "Well, if you're going to Stojano, I think only the gods can help you, friend. I've heard rumors that the inmates run the madhouse now. Supposedly they have the Lord Regent there. The Lord's Alliance wants to free him, but, well, one despot's as good as another, I say. Excepting, I suppose, a green dragon. But he seems to have lost interest for the time being. What we're focused on is getting people out of the city. People and knowledge, which is why I'm here. So, if you want to put that stout back of yours to use, filling a cart with books, I'd be happy to help you. But if you're going to Stojano," he puts his hands out sort of helplessly, "I'm not sure what I can give you, besides my prayers."
Well, this time we've not found alternate paths. We've not found. We don't have people within the cult.
He shakes his head. "No, as much as I'd like to say that we do, I don't think anyone's been able to penetrate their ranks. Not of late, at least. They've been sneaking into the city for weeks. Half the Black Fist works for the cult now, which explains the killings. They're purging their ranks, murdering anyone who doesn't turn to the dragon's side."
Of course they are.
And he gives you a look, and there's a moment of, like, he was about to say something, and he kind of like looks at you like not sad, but like there's a moment of pity, and you don't get that a lot. Like, you don't get pitied very often. You're a big tough dude with scary armor and a giant sword, but he gives you a look like he was gonna say something. He's like, "Oh, never mind." He doesn't end up saying anything. He just kind of like looks down, unless you want to press him.
Yeah, no, I press him. I'm like, what? Anything you have could be useful at this point.
He says, "Well, I mean, it's only been half a day, but there's rumors that the cult is rounding up the important folk, guild masters, members of the ruling class, nobles, and executing them. Now, normally I'm all for the overturn of power, but and you can tell, like, he recognizes that you're a Hustings, and he doesn't want to be like, yeah, burn all the nobles. I'm sorry, they're probably your family. So he just kind of trails off.
Where?
He gives you a look like, you got guess.
Stojano.
He points at you. He's like, bingo. So, two birds with one stone, I guess. Big
One stone, you know.
Look,
big scaly birds.
good luck taking what you can. I can't help here. I'm obviously needed more in other places.
He puts his hand on your bracer to like stop you from leaving, and he looks at you earnestly and he says, "Listen, when you're ready to get out of here, out of Flan, I mean, come back. I'm gonna be the last man out. I'm gonna turn the lights out when I go. But before I do that, listen, we've got a route. It's an old smuggling route through the sewers. And well, whatever else is going on with your family, with Flan, a living Harper is better than a dead one. So come back. I'll try and wait for you."
Yeah, Lane nods, turns around, and like Oleander's behind me, so she gets this view of just like Lane isn't normally not very composed. He's quite stoic. It's how he deals with things going badly, but the idea of his family being in danger has like really shaken him, so he's very like, you catch kind of the panic before maybe he like full plate visor down, and like I'd stomp out.
All
And I don't make a snarky comment. That's how I like respond to your pain.
You know she cares because she doesn't
She
snark
really
you.
cares.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah, we didn't get any like, well, your parents are probably dead. Forget it. Okay, cool. So the two of you leave the Cracked Crown and head out. So I suppose the next thing would be meeting with Alade outside Stojano Gate. Yeah, because that's where you all agreed to meet up.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're storm the gates and die to members of the Black Fist.
Well, let's hope you don't storm the gates, but yes. So yeah, so I guess an hour or so, however long later, we open on the scene of Valjevo Castle. Now, unlike the rest of the streets of Flan, unlike the chaos seems to be spilling out into the street, Valjevo's environs seem just about deserted. The residents here have all fled or been captured, or killed. You're able to approach the Stojano gate with relative ease, and you soon come into sight of the immense gate. You meet up with Alade and her contingent in an alley nearby. There's a faint acrid smell in the air, the last sort of remnants of the green dragon's breath weapon, and you can still see the like green stains on the walls and on parts of the gate and the collapsed tower when you look up. There's a hastily constructed barricade of barrels, stacks of crates, and other debris blocking passage into the main courtyard of Valjevo Castle. Barely visible beyond it, you can see through the haze a throng of people sitting in groups on the ground, bound to one another by chains, the wrists and ankles, captives of the Cult of the Dragon. There's a couple of dozen men and women in Black Fist uniforms splashed with the bright green paint that we talked about before, kind of around in the area inside. And a separate group of heavily armored soldiers stand watch over the prisoners, specifically just inside the barricade. You're about 50 feet from the gate now and have an area here where you can watch from, and they don't seem to have noticed you.
Okay, how many like loyal people has the lieutenant got? She's lieutenant thing.
So Alade is joined by now you can't tell if they're like members of the Black Fist or whatever other knights. And she has maybe like a dozen of them. They're all armed and armored appropriately. And seem to run the gamut between like, ready to go and jump into battle and quite nervous about what's about to happen. One of them, I think you spot one of her like loyalist friends. You actually recognize. There's a young woman. Now, most of these people have swords, but you notice this woman at first by her choice of weapon, and then by her garb. She's carrying a mace. And the mace is a big, heavy iron thing, and it looks like 4 outward-facing skulls on the end. She's wearing a suit of chainmail that looks a bit too large for her, and then a tabard over top. And the tabard is dirty and stained, but on its front has embroidered a skeletal hand clutching a pair of scales. And as we pan up this person, she pulls her helmet off, and her brown hair kind of tumbles from the helmet, and you recognize Cassit, the young acolyte of Kellamvor, who led you through the dungeon underneath the graveyard.
Except now she's badass.
And I think when she sees you through the group, she like pushes her way through, and she says, she's like, Lane, Gravaris, and she seems like surprised to see you, but happy that you're alive.
Looks like Kellamvor hasn't taken the 3 of us yet.
She
thankful to see you as well.
She nods and she says it seems like a flip of a coin now. Every time I meet someone, I'm surprised that they're not dead, and then I feel guilty for it.
You get used to it.
She shakes her head and she's like, I hope not. I'm only here because I was lucky. The cemetery, she just kind of like trails off and like 1,000-yard stares past you.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
She nods and looks down. Were you a kobold the last time she saw you? I can't remember.
No.
Yeah, so she starts. She's just like, kobold, and points at you. Like you just snuck into the ranks.
Yeah.
And she takes another look and kind of squints and looks at you, Gravaris. She's like, wait, what?
If I say it's complicated, will you stop asking me questions about it?
She shakes her head and she says, "Well, for now, I suppose at least. Though I am awfully curious. It's been a
It was
strange
magic.
day." She nods. Yeah, I had gathered.
I'll tell you the story later.
Of course.
Providing we get out of this alive, of course.
Well, or not.
I'm always.
I mean, we'll all have
optimistic.
some time, before our
Whatever
respective
you
deities come to.
believe.
It's really fascinating, actually. There are stories about
I'd
people who've
rather
been
not.
resurrected. Oh. And she kind of like deflates a little. She's like, but.
Aw,
It's good to see you.
little death nerd.
And I
Yeah.
I do the the warrior handshake thing.
She hugs you when you do that. You go to warrior handshaker, and she just like puts her arms around you, and you feel her like chainmail like clatter against you.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'll give her a hug. She was a cool kid.
Yeah.
All right. Well, reunions aside, do we have a plan?
Alade looks resigned. She's been staring at the group and like talking to her troop. And she sighs and she says, "As I see it, there's no other way. I'll take my soldiers and we'll circle around to the west." And she points off to the gate. Actually, I think I have a map of the front entrance. Let me take a look. Yeah, the gate. Yeah, so there you go. There's a little area. There's the keep beyond the gate. The guards. Some of the guards are here. And so what Alade suggests, she says, I'll take my soldiers and we'll circle around to the west. We'll launch an attack and then quickly fall back to the alleys. These corrupt knights seem intent on capturing or killing members of the Black Fist who are still loyal to the city. They'll likely give chase. And when they do, that's when you attack the barricade. Rescue the Lord Regent, get him out of there, and whoever else you can. It's a fool's errand, I know, but this is all we have. Unless you have a better idea.
Yeah, like I look at it and it's just like this one well-defended entrance, and we've been told respectively that there's not really another way in. And I say, oh, I suppose I guess that makes me a fool.
You know,
Very well.
there really is always the option of sneaking.
She nods and she says, if you think you can get in by stealth, certainly. We'll create a diversion one way or another.
Please do.
Yeah, Cassita's like, I've never been a diversion before. I hope it doesn't hurt too badly. He kind of like nervously laughs.
Depends on how well you divert people, I suppose.
If you divert them very well, it will hurt.
And she doesn't look like that. Doesn't feel any better about that.
But it's okay. You'll finally get to meet Kellenbor. Tell him hello for me.
She kind of chuckles and she's like, well, I suppose there's a silver lining after all.
Well, sneaking. Back to that.
All I'm saying is that some of us are capable of disguising ourselves to a degree where we may actually be able to get through, and the others, well, we'll hope that they can as well.
Is that what we wish to do? Try and
I'm just
sneak
saying.
through this barricade? Does it look like really intensely like busy? Or like
I mean, there are a lot of guards there now, but if they cause a distraction somewhere else, it'll draw at least some of them away.
Mm.
Not to mention that if there's a diversion and someone who would normally know who to let through and who not goes and chases after some, then we have a higher chance of being able to get through.
We could just get some green paint and
I mean, the Black Fist has very specific armor that they wear.
yeah, of course they do.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably find. I mean, there's no way you would ever personally be able to disguise yourself as a member of the Black Fist on account of your being.
I mean, she literally has a black fist, Adam. She's the
Yes.
freaking mascot.
I mean, I
You
think
could try and put that past them, but I think they're smarter than that.
I feel like the Dark Lord Bane is their mascot, if anything. It's a more metaphorically black fist, not a literally black fist.
Well, whatever. I tried. You know.
If you think using your disguise, you can find us a way in that stops us fighting some of the guards, then by all means. But both myself and Oleander are never getting through that.
Well,
Without murdering some people, actually.
I'm much better
And
at killing them when I'm close to them, and
I'm just saying it may be advantageous, yes.
yeah, we can at least start things off on a good foot. Hmm?
All right. Well,
I will cover you.
I do feel a valiant charge coming on after that. Yes.
Plan is, we've got horse guy with big sword and bow lady.
Yes.
Y'all are team Bravo, and you're gonna hang out
In a tree.
within striking distance, and then me and the tiny one, we go up, we're disguised, etc. We try to get through. If we can get through, we immediately turn around and just start murdering people, and then you two roll up and continue the murdering.
Perfect. We'll wait for your signal.
Or
This-
the screams.
My out of character description of what the plan is that Graveris delivers in character,
In character.
and you know,
Yep.
imagine
Seems good.
him saying the coolest thing that you can.
Okay.
This is the-
Andrew,
this is the
Andrew,
part of the-
you have
the
inspiration, but your
cinematic-
character does not.
This is the part of the what do you call it? The video game where there's like an expository scene, like just
Yeah,
jammed
there's
in there.
there's some dreadful expository scene that we don't need to put our audience through, and then we're gonna do the thing.
Okay. All right. So Alade looks to you and says, she says, we're going to lead the guards away, as many as we can. Count to 200 to give us some time, and then do whatever it is you will. And Lane, she turns to you and she puts out a mailed fist to shake your hand or give you the warrior
Yep.
handshake.
Take it.
And she says, good luck, and turns to her group, and you see Cassit like put her helmet back on, and everybody kind of nervously like draw their weapons.
So these people who are causing a distraction, they're just like, their plan is to just like run up and be like, hey, we're guards, fight us.
Yeah, or like run up, shoot some arrows, and like stab some people, like a brief melee, and then fuck off. She's gonna head off this way, as is indicated on the map.
Okay. Well, because I like my friend Cassit, I'm gonna give her the blessing of the trickster.
Mm-hmm.
So for the next hour, she has advantage on stealth checks.
Okay. So you bless her, but what do you tell her, like, so that she knows what to do?
Yeah, I just like walk over to her and I like grab her by the arm and like just whisper in her ear. I'm just like, if things go wrong out there, no need to meet Kellenvor quite so quickly.
She says
And,
to you, like, through the slit in her like visor, and you can hear her kind of like muffled by her helmet, and she says, there are many gods who in the afterlife reward bravery in battle, stalwartness, stoutness of heart. Thankfully, Kellenvor is not one of those.
Yeah, and I like pat her on the back, and you know, she just like feels the little tingly feeling, and the whispers of Mask start guiding her and being like, oh, you could hide over there. Oh, that's a good spot. Like,
Right. She's starting to see the world as a series of places to hide in.
Yeah.
I dig it. Okay, cool. All right. Well, let's grab a break here, and then we can do Operation Valjevo Keep, Operation Stojno Gate when we come back. That'll give us lots of time for however wrong it decides to go.
Operation Stones Through the Gate.
All right. Stick around, everybody. We will be back in just a few minutes.